if I would ask you, can you give us like a 1 minute, in a 1 minute or let's say 2 minutes? Now I put pressure on you, be careful.
Yes. I don't know what he's going to ask me.
Okay, why in the world should I create a blog site?
Okay. Should you switch? Why should you
get
a blog
exactly.
site? Okay. So, in the early 90s, or the mid-90s, when the internet started to get some popularity, people were creating regular HTML sites. And those were fine at the time because they were very basic. However, to get an HTML site now will cost you, I'm going to say this in US dollars because I guess that's a currency we could both understand. It'll be about between $3,000 and $6,000. And I've known people who spent even more than that, up to $20,000, because once they set it up, they need to update it. So once it's there, they want to make changes. So those changes cost you more money. With a WordPress blog site, you can go in and make those changes yourself, or you can have an assistant do it for you at a much cheaper rate. Also, when you don't update your site, Google thinks of you as a site that's been left on the web to die. It's kind of like when you go shopping and there's a couple of stores beside each other. One, every time you look in the window, it's beautiful, there's beautiful colors, new products, it's always clean, it's always getting your attention. Yet the store beside that one might have cobwebs, it might be dusty, there might be a crack in the window. So after a while, which one do you stop looking at and which one do you continue to look at? Right? So you continue to look at the one that's visually appealing, that's always updated, and that's sort of what Google does too. So Google will look at your blog site and say, oh, they've added a new blog post 3 times this week, or they've updated this page a couple of times this week, as opposed to, someone who has created an HTML site 3 years ago and never touched it. And Google thinks there's virtual dust on this website, so they start to ignore it. So that's one of the major reasons. And if you want to get what I call Google love, then a blog site's better for you because the updates that you make, Google is constantly updating them on their site. The search engine optimization is better on WordPress, much better than on a traditional site. And there are thousands, something like 4,500 different plugins which will allow you to add different functionality to your site. So you can add Twitter, you can add the ability for people to take different polls on your site. You can change the language on your site. So for instance, if you wrote your site in Romanian, I could go in and click maybe it's the Canadian flag, it never is. It's usually the US flag or the British flag, which will let me then go see it in English. So that's another one. Or there might be an Italian flag that will let me switch it to Italian. So that's another plugin you could use as well.
Look, how easy is for us to do this? Because it sounds like you're very good, but you just described me 8 months ago. I was the guy with the dust in the window, Nothing was happening for me, and I didn't know why. So
right.
how easy is for somebody who decides and starts?
Who's ready to start?
Right.
Well, I'll tell you this. I encourage everyone to first start with a little bit of homework. And the homework or the assignment, I don't like homework, it reminds me of school. But if you go to WordPress.com, there you can get a free WordPress site. However, I'm going to say, everyone gets excited when I say that, but however, if you start to do business on a WordPress.com account, they may shut you off. But what I suggest is go in there, create a personal account, have some fun, create some posts, play around with the plugins, with the themes. You can always delete anything that you put up there. It's not permanent. But you can just go in and play. It's like your little sandbox, your little area to play. So that's WordPress.com.